Hello, welcome to Current Exposure. We are live. Okay. Let's see. Let's get some people in the room, in the virtual room. Where's everybody at? Oh man. I have a let's see. Let me see here. All right. Let's save that. Okay. All right, welcome to Current Exposure. If you want to get into the comments, I'm just typing what we're talking about today. All right, we're going to be talking about the Congresswoman McIver of the New Jersey 10th Congressional District yelling, "We are at war," at a rally where, the rally was held at in front of the Department of Treasury to protest Elon Musk and what was perceived that he was doing, or what access he had. Democrats weren't happy about that particular access, and they had a rally with over 1,000 people in front of the Department of Treasury. After getting these people to come out, I don't know where the people came from that quickly, but there were a couple of Democrats from Congress that went and tried to go into the Department of Treasury, but wasn't allowed into the building without making an appointment. They were told they had to make an appointment and they could come back. And next thing happened. One thing followed the next, and there was a rally where Congress people were outside, and the Congresswoman newly elected, who was the former councilwoman of the Central Ward, in which there's controversy about the Central Ward seat right now too, but she yelled, "We are at war." And hello, Kevin. Kevin, would you like to come on and break this down a little bit further? I'm going to play the video that is circulating on YouTube of Congresswoman McIver and what she said that was so concerning and just irresponsible to say as a congresswoman. You know, to declare war, I don't know, with the Senate, with who, with Donald Trump, I don't know. I have no idea, but to yell that out to a large group of people is pretty much, it's looking bad. It's not looking good for her. I'll tell you that now. It's not looking good. It's going into, I'm not a legal expert, but inciting violence, insurrectionism. And we just went through that some years ago, January 6th, where people stormed the Capitol. We cannot be acting like this in our local government. I am sending you the link now. Hold on one second. I definitely want to get the video up. I'll get the video up and play the video on YouTube. Hold on. Let's get this video. Okay. All right. Let me get the video going. Let's see. Wait a minute. It was it was just not good. It was not good. Forbes, I believe Forbes played it. Let me see. Let me find it on Forbes. Forbes. This is not the way you want to make the news either, people. This is not the way you want to make the news at all. All right, we got a commercial going. Hold on, let's get the YouTube. All right, let's put that up there. Okay.
Who we got? There you go. Look,
hold on. Can people hear the sound?
I
can't hear the sound. Hey,
just
Lil.
like you all.
Hold on. Let me back it up. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get the link. Let me get the link to you, Kevin. I'm about to send it right now. Because this is OMG. This was not good at all. Not good at all. All right. What's going on with the sound? Okay. Let me go present, share screen. Da 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 da.
Who we got? There you go.
They took the sound away? That's insane. All right. Hold on. Let me get this link to Kevin. We need Kevin on for this one. This was so shocking. OMG. Well, not really that shocking because the person is not prepared to be in that position, and it's apparent. It's apparent through their actions and their behavior. It shows. Let's see. All right, Kevin. The link is coming to you. I've sent the link. I'm trying to get this video queued up because, let me see here. Let's see. The comments were crazy too. Let me bring you on. Hold on, Kevin. Let's see. Hold up. Let's see. Okay, Kevin, you're on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, you got me in a good time because I was on my way upstairs.
Perfect.
You came on my phone. I just got into town the other day, and I'm exhausted. And so when I saw you, I was like, "Look at my girl still doing her show. I like that."
Yes.
I respect that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Consistency. That's really important that you lend your voice to these conversations, I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, it's not a joke. I was going upstairs to go lay down.
Wow.
I was tired.
I'm glad you didn't lay down, and I'm sorry for disturbing your rest, but this is something that we need to get your commentary on because I thought this was so irresponsible. It was unprofessional. It was ghetto. And it was not a representation of Newark. This is the district that I live in. And it's one thing to be upset about Donald Trump's picks or whatever, but okay, there's ways of dealing with that. This was not it. This was not it.
Sakina, no one should have anything to say about Donald Trump's pick. 89% of the country told Donald Trump they wanted him to go in and clean up the swamp, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I can't help it if the Democrats are a part of the swamp. And you have some Republicans that are a part of the swamp too. He's getting rid of them also.
Okay.
So what is the big deal? I mean, he has the right to pick his choices that he needs to run the country. And
right.
Thus far, in the last 10 days, he's been doing exceptionally well, doing an exceptionally good job. So, I mean, I don't know what all of this hoopla is about. I think the Democratic Party has a virus.
Okay.
And, and until they deal with that virus, they will not be elected at the national level at the national level anyway for a long time. And I think we need to start focusing at the local level, because what I saw from this young lady was just not embarrassing. It was insulting.
Yeah.
And she's a character. I mean, obviously she's a character. Obviously she believes that, she's smart enough to navigate the waters of Washington.
OMG.
Outside of that, she's not going to bring anything to this city or to this state or to our district, because she didn't have the capacity to do it when she was a councilwoman and a council president. You know what the problem is in Newark and New Jersey?
What's the problem?
We have a lot of people that are continuing to fail up.
Okay.
And see, this is the everybody that's serving now, they have a fail up crew. And the reason why they're able to fail up is because a lot of us have left the building.
Okay.
And a lot of us are coming back to get back involved again, because these people need to be dislodged. She was embarrassing. She was
it was terrible.
Terrible. It's ghetto. Obviously, I don't think anybody really wanted her to be our congresswoman. But guess what? Newark did it. The political party did it. And guess what they think of us? She's there representing something. I don't even have any idea. But guess what? The Democratic Party put her there. And Newark in the 10th district, they didn't vote for her overwhelmingly, but she's there now, embarrassing us.
Right. I see.
Never been a congresswoman. She should have never been a Central Ward councilwoman, and she damn sure shouldn't have been a president of the council. She has no capacity to deal with any of those jobs. But the fail-up crew is in charge now. Remember what I told you, the fail-up crew.
Right.
And it's nothing that, outside of us getting more actively involved and changing the stuff that's happening politically, it'll stay the same. I mean,
I agree.
The state of New Jersey, she embarrassed herself. And I've said it all along. She might be a good mother. She might be a good wife. She might be a good friend. She might be a good sister, might be a good aunt, but she should not be representing us anywhere.
Okay.
And that's a shame that she is. And that's a reflection on us. So
it is.
People in America to send her down to Washington.
And that's why I came on this evening to let people know I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this type of representation.
Well, the party's been doing this for some time, Sakina. Let me tell you what's happening. They're being found out now.
Okay.
It's the Democratic Party is over, and they know it. And look at this. After majority of the country said, we don't want any of this, look what they're back to doing now.
Right.
Now they're going after Elon Musk. Elon Musk is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Find a way. Tell American people what's happening in their government. Now they're saying Elon Musk controls the government, but they weren't saying that about Soros. They wasn't saying that about all the other billionaires that have been going around the world, disrupting democracy, real democracy, especially in the continent of Africa and in Western Europe. They're not saying all the money that they gave him to disrupt our economy and disrupt our country. We're bringing in millions and millions of illegal immigrants.
Oh yeah.
The notion that the Democratic Party, if somebody's listening to them, I find it hilarious. Nobody's listening to them. They look like old clowns up there the other day.
I want to play the footage. I want to try to play this footage because I want people to hear what was said, but
look,
the sound is not coming through. Can you hear the sound?
There you go.
Hear it?
Oh, you can? Okay.
Look, I came here with one simple message, just like you all. We will not take this shit from Donald Trump and Elon Musk. We want you to know, as mentioned, we came here for an oversight visit in this building behind us, and they told us that we had to have an appointment for an oversight visit. So let's let them know loud and clear to let us in. 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 Donald Trump. Donald Trump thinks that he is a dictator. But we are going to prove him wrong. I came here to Congress in September, and I want Donald Trump to know that this Jersey girl means business. We will not stand for this. We will fight back. The people always had the power. And I tell folks, we've been talking about it all day today. Someone told us that Republicans had their phones off the hook so they wouldn't take your calls about what's going on here. Bull to that. And I tell you that when we leave here, we need to organize and mobilize and tell people to call every elected official of Congress and let them know, especially the Republicans, that we will not take this. We will fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and God damn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war. Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury of the United States of America, we are at war. Thank you.
Well, she is right. We are at war against idiots like her. Well, we are really at war. I think everybody should say, yes, we are at war. We need to get rid of you in the next election. We
but Kevin,
wait a minute. Listen, we need to put a banner up in Newark in the 10th district. We are at war with your stupidity. We're at war with your incompetence. We're at war with your hubris to think that you can speak for the 10th district and speak for New Jersey like you have some power, like you have some influence. She's going to be a one-termer. She better enjoy these 2 years because she's out. She's an embarrassment. Wait a minute, let me just finish. This is ugly. You know,
it's very ugly. It's the fact that Congress.
What does that mean? She's a Jersey girl. What does that mean? Oh, I know. What she's doing is she's importing her. I was going to say something horrible. She's importing her. I got to put this right because I was going to be very horrible. She's importing her intellectual understanding of politics from New Jersey.
Yes.
She's seen her mayor do it and see that, oh, obviously this is what you do. This is how you talk to Americans. This is how you talk.
No, you don't. Right. You don't. But that's not how it goes.
The sad part everybody in the 10th district should be calling her office and telling her to sit down and shut up and learn your job. And stop being Stop being a mouthpiece.
A reactionary
party. No, it's not. She's not being reactionary. She's working for the demolition party now. That's what I call the Democratic Party, the demolition party.
Okay. Wow.
Everything in front of them. So my thing is the 10th district should be calling her office and letting her know that we don't want that kind of representation. You dig what I'm saying?
Wow. Right. Horrible
individual.
I'm quite sure.
Trump, and for her to talk about the Republican Party, isn't it very interesting that the Republican Party has become the party of the people and the Democratic Party has become a cult? That's why I call it the demolition party. They're talking about gender when we're talking about putting more money in our pockets. They're talking about putting tampons in bathrooms when we're talking about protecting women's rights in sports. They're talking about, you got to understand, I could go on all day with this. These are very, very bad people, and they need to be stopped.
My thing is, why not learn your job? Does she not know Congress? If we're talking about constitutional rights and people have constitutional rights to be here without coming into the country the legal way, and they have all these constitutional rights, why not understand, like, through the Constitution, Congress has the sole power to declare war. You're declaring war in your country against other countrymen. That's not what we do.
Well, you know what?
That's not what we do.
what you're saying is absolutely correct. And you know what? You're taking the position I think a lot of people in this country is taking. Like, this is not what Congress is supposed to be doing. But they call it the do nothing. They call it the do nothing Congress anyway. So I can get that. But here's the deal: she has to go. We need to be organizing to get rid of her and all of them. And until Newark does that, you're going to be sleeping in shit for the next 4 to 8 years, and we deserve it. I'm sorry. I'm not letting the people off the hook in this town, and I don't want to lose.
Right.
But I think she was an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment.
That was very embarrassing. I'm like, oh my gosh.
When Newark are starting to talk about this, I mean, really look, and she's only going to be there for 2 years, if that, right? Because now she's a target. Because now now, when you talked about January 6th the last time, insurrection, I don't think people understand what the term insurrection is.
What she did was insurrection. You have a crowd of over 1,000 people. Everybody's pumped up. They're using foul language, so everybody's pissed. They're inciting people to be angry, to go into this Department of Treasury where they weren't told that they couldn't come in. It's just there's a policy. You have to make an appointment. Make the appointment.
Well, she has embarrassed.
Don't storm the place and have an unnecessary rally. And then you're talking about we are at war with the Senate. Shut the Senate down. Shut the city down for what?
Well, she received a letter today from the White House putting her on notice.
Wow.
Okay, so she's been put on notice. I mean,
wow.
I mean, really, I hate to even have this conversation because I'm just embarrassed for having it. She is a horrible, horrible person.
But we have to have this conversation because a lot of us are not okay with it. And we go to city council meetings. We get kicked out when we hold them accountable. And just like, what's her name? Munira's saying, hold on. She said that they were kicking people. Yeah, they banned us. Oh, hold on. Somebody said she was radical.
Radical?
and Che chimed in and said, this is not radical. This is not the best the Democrats have to offer at all.
First of all, the Democratic Party is over. And anybody that's defending that behavior is a fool.
Yeah, okay? It's not good. It's not good.
And anybody trying to justify what the Democrats are doing right now is embarrassing. The Democratic Party is over, and they should be over. They're anti-American. They're anti-family. They're anti-community. They're anti-anything basic, basic common sense. They are radical, crazy people that we need to run away from. And guess what happened in the last election? America ran away from them. America is not interested in them. And the bottom line is it's not going to get any better. They're going to be out of power for the next 20 years because gender is not a policy. Tampons in the bathroom is not a policy. Trans men's sports, women's sports is not a policy.
Right.
Now you're trying to put pressure on Trump. What Trump is doing exactly what a good president is supposed to do. Halt funding, see where the money is going so he can appropriate it for Americans first. Our communities are devastated. Our educational system are devastated. Our leaders are weak and incompetent. Our streets are filthy. The GDP in Newark is probably below Africa's GDP.
Wow.
Some of the poor countries in Africa.
But I'm wondering why our median income is 2025, right? Housing has gone up. Like a one bedroom is $2,000, but our median income is still $36,000.
Well,
why?
Our economy is not growing. The people in the city of Newark is overtaxed. I mean, look at senior citizens still trying to hold on to their homes.
Right,
so
right.
If Trump says, I'm not going to tax Social Security, are you unhappy about that? If Trump tells you that he's going to take boys out of girls' bathrooms, are you unhappy about that? If Trump's saying he's going to lower gasoline prices in America, you're upset about that? If Trump's saying that he's going to stop funding wars around the world, are you upset about that? If Trump's saying I'm going to get more black men out of prison and I'm going to give more opportunity to black communities, you have a problem with that? I could go on and on all day with that. Only a fool or an incompetent person or a slave or somebody that's being paid by the demolition party to confuse Black Americans. Now, I don't know if you've seen the clip that the young man did that's all over Twitter and all over Facebook. That was a Democrat.
Oh, yes.
I think everybody, that young man at that moment nailed it. And that's how people feel about the Democratic Party. These are Democrats saying this. It's not Republicans. And
Right.
Majority of the people in this country don't trust the Republicans either. You know who they trust? They trust Donald Trump.
Okay.
They don't trust the Republican Party either. Now, I'm saying to everybody, while you're all whining, right? You didn't whine when there was a coup over your president, Joe Biden, the last election. You didn't whine when we were running a trillion, almost running $1 trillion worth of deficits in our country. You wasn't saying anything about that. More Black men and Latino Black men went to prison when Biden was in office and Kamala was in office. I can go on. I got data can go on for days. We're the sickest country in the world. You don't want to get our community to stop being so sick and being manipulated by big pharma, or you don't want you don't want the poison out of the food. You don't want to have a deeper conversation about the impact of vaccines and what's in vaccines and how it's impacting our children. If you don't want to have that discussion, shut the fuck up. Okay, because nobody wants to hear what you're talking about. Your party line nonsense. Nobody has time for it anymore. Black Americans, white Americans, Latino Americans, Jewish Americans, Indian Asian Americans, I could go on, all voted against the agenda of the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Wait, time out. And this whole thing about Trump taking Social Security a lie, this whole thing about
he can't do that. He can't do that at all. And that's the part that I don't like coming from my party, the Democrats, with them fear-mongering and saying that he's going to take SNAP benefits. He can't take SNAP benefits. There's certain things written into the bills and money has been appropriated for that. These are like pretty much solid programs that are here to stay. Shakima, and he can't just wipe it away.
Shakima, you don't even have to explain it because it was never going to be done anyway. Nobody's taking entitlements away from poor people. Nobody's taking entitlements away from senior citizens. Guess what? If he fulfills this promise about not taxing Social Security, you know what that would do for our seniors and people in this country, poor people in this country?
Yeah, it would give them a leg up.
The Democratic Party had, out of 16 years, had 12 years, and they screwed America. And now we're just finding out what it's all about now.
We still have potholes, homelessness skyrocketed.
I mean, come on. They burnt down Los Angeles, the impotent, incompetent leadership there in Los Angeles. And I'm in the city of Newark. As soon as I got off the plane, I was introduced to one thing. You ready? Garbage.
What? Garbage. Wow. And the homeless people, because the homeless people have taken over the airport too. They're living at the airport outside.
I want you to listen to me. The first thing I was introduced coming off of 21 was garbage. You can't go to the supermarket and be safe. You can't send your kids out to play to be safe, right?
Right.
You're being overtaxed, taxation without representation, and Black people sitting home talking about, well, I'm a Democrat. You're a fool. And you know what? We got to start calling them that. You're a fool. And they have no argument. They have no argument about anything. If you really
I really can't argue myself, honestly, as a Democrat. I cannot. I'm like, my party is failing me right now.
No. That's not your party. You just happen to be a Democrat.
You're right.
Because that party does not like you, sis. I'll give you an example. They talked about women's rights. They talked about women's rights. And the last DNC convention they just had, I'm talking about the elected new officers.
Okay.
Now, one Black woman got elected.
Wow.
LGBTQ did. A white guy from Wisconsin did. But all of this women stuff, we're women. They didn't get, not one of them got elected. Not one.
Wow.
You know what their platform was? Gender. Gender.
Wow.
Not how to feed Americans, not how to make us feel safe, not dealing with the issues of health and chronic illness in our country, not dealing with the wars, the endless wars, not dealing with the abuse of spending our money all around the world.
Yeah. I want to deal with the abuse of the millions that come into Newark. Where's the money going? Why are people still suffering if funds are coming in to help, but they never trickle down to us?
First of all, Newark is broke.
Okay.
So let's stop the bull crap. Newark is broke.
We're in another deficit. We're in another deficit.
You've been in deficits for the last 6-7 years now. It's just worse now.
Wow.
You can't run deficits every year and then say you balance in the budget.
Right.
Structural deficit is structural deficit. So at the end of the day, Sakima, I got on here because I love you, and
thank you so much for getting on.
But at the end of the day, I blame Norcas for that. I blame Norcas for her being there. The Democratic Party with beta men, all of those beta men running the Democratic Party, sat in the room and said, well, we got to put her down there. And guess what? She's an embarrassment, just like everybody up here. I watched the Democratic in Florida. I watched the Democratic convention. Debate.
Okay.
I didn't know whether to keep drinking or crying because it was that embarrassing.
It was terrible. It was terrible. For the governor, I was like, oh, man, horrible. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
I mean, they're not going to win. Don't get me wrong. There will not be a Democrat governor in the state of New Jersey. It will be a Republican. Now, I do business with everybody. I'm very agnostic. I'm very transactional, but I know bad stuff when I see it.
Right.
The Democratic Party is an abomination. That's why I call it the demolition party. And this is what I want to tell everybody at home that are Democrats.
Wow.
If you are disenfranchised and if you don't want to be a Democrat, become an independent. That's the new party.
Independent. Okay.
Everybody become an independent. Leave the Democratic Party and become an independent.
What are before people jump from party to party, what are the values of independence? What are the morals? Because I think we kind of I know I got pulled into the Democratic Party because I thought there were values. I thought
as an independent, you can pay more attention. You don't have to declare that you're Republican or Democrat. But as an independent, you'll be able to make more crystallized decisions about your bottom line without this thing about party loyalty. Your morality is personal. Your character is personal. But when you talk about being independent, you're saying, okay, where do I place my vote to get the best bang in return for what I need for my group, what I need for my people?
See what you're saying. Okay.
I'm telling all my friends that are Democrats, you ain't got to stick with that because they're not even the party of the people anymore. Right? They don't care.
They're self-serving. They're all rich. They're rich. How do you have a millionaire mayor, but the median income is $36,000?
Who's a millionaire mayor? Who are you talking about?
Oh, this mayor is claiming he's a millionaire. Raz Baraka.
First of all,
he's not a millionaire. So we've been beat over the head with that too. Wow.
Listen, I don't know what kind of million. Okay, if you work 10 years,
1 million.
Well, first of all,
I'm not saying like.
If you make $200,000 a year, 200, and you add that up, you'll get to be about $1 million, right? You'll be
right.
If you work long enough, you spent $1 million, right?
Right.
But here's the deal: it's all right if he's making money legally. Obviously, he's not making money legally because I know. Okay, so if he's telling you he's a millionaire, multimillionaire, that means he stole the money. He ain't earned it.
Wow.
Okay, so I know how money works. Okay. $50 million. I said, now you got to be the stupidest people on earth.
150 million? Nah, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Let them stay with that. That's fine. I think it's hilarious.
Like 1 million is believable. 1 million is believable.
Well, you've made 1 million. You've been
exactly. So that's why I'm like, okay, he might have made a little more. He made a little bit more than me, but yeah.
Well, that's true. But at the end of the day, what he makes is irrelevant. What he's done to the city is most important.
No, the whole point about talking what about what he makes is that he enriched himself. He elevated himself without elevating the city and the people that he claimed to represent. And he talks a really, really good one. When I watched the debate, if I didn't live in Newark, I would have thought this guy was amazing.
Well, first of all, he was actually spewing radical things that nobody in this country is interested in. He's talking to a fringe group of people that have lost their minds. Nobody's interested in that. Nobody's interested in DEI. DEI had nothing to do with Black Americans. It has something to do with white women. It has something to do with LGBTQ, white people.
Okay.
Now, it was nothing to support. It had nothing to do with us. And everybody understands that. The people that are down.
Yeah.
Inclusion. What the hell is? How about you doing your job and creating opportunity for people that live in the city? How about you cleaning up the streets? How about you reducing the taxes? How about you fixing these schools? How about you making our city safe and viable? How about you cleaning up downtown so I can go have dinner and don't worry about getting stuck up on Broad Market? How about cleaning up your building of corruption? How about that? I mean, that's how people are judging him. That's why nobody's voting for him. So if he thinks he's governor, this is all a play. This is all theater.
It's a performance. It's a performance. It's really a performance.
Better than anybody that there's a certain sector of the country that likes black men like him. And guess
what?
No, hey, wait a minute.
Where?
You got weirdos. He's part of the weirdo brigade.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
they run out there talking about DEI. They run out there talking about LGBTQ. They don't talk about anything that reflects my values, anything that reflects my beliefs. Nothing.
Wait a minute. What?
Hey, Trump got listen, I'm laughing about Trump because Trump is hilarious to me. I love the guy. He got 13,000 votes in Newark. Was that true?
Wow.
I mean, if he got 13,000 votes in Newark, that was the last vote total of the last mayoral election.
Right.
I was going to qualify that for me. Find out about that.
I will look into that because I didn't hear that. But my other question was, what was the whole fiasco at Costco? Why didn't they go down to why didn't they go down to these buildings with these slumlords that have 30, 25-year tax abatements at Georgia King Village, 440 Washington Street? Why didn't they go and take all those people there to ask, why are people living in these slum conditions when you're not even paying taxes?
Look,
people are paying rent.
Sakima, you're asking some of the most important questions of the day. And you know what? The reason why they're able to get away with it is because I have to say this. Some of my people are just not bright. It's not bright. And the ones that think they're bright, I laugh at them because they're low information people, right? They're not intellectually curious. They just do what
not
they
at all.
The mainstream media is not where you get your news from anymore.
No.
Nobody's looking at it anymore. And your shows are important. So that's why I'm happy that you're still doing it. Now, got me all edged up. I got to go back. I was going to bed, Sakima. I was tired.
I'm sorry for waking you up, but we had to talk about this. I had to talk about this.
I want to tell you something.
This is insanity. Insanity just playing out in front of us. How could we have a leadership like this?
When Al Sharpton, when you see Al Sharpton doing that, that's what you call the great con. So what he's trying to do is get Costco to hire him to keep the Negroes at bay. And then when you saw me out there doing all of this and shit, I'm like, what in the world? You think Black Americans are going to stop going to Costco because of DEI?
No, they're not. No.
You think Black Americans are going to stop going to Target because of DEI?
No. Oh, and did you see the flip side of that is that Black manufacturers or creators who have their products in Target spoke out and said, if you guys stop going, we won't have any support. This is how we make our money. This will affect us. And then people had to reconsider because everybody was jumping on a bandwagon.
But it wasn't everybody. No, it wasn't. Let me tell you something.
Not everybody, but a lot of people were jumping on the bandwagon because celebrities.
They are low information people. Listen, I'm going to give some advice to all of you out there. Stay away from low information people. They're dangerous.
Yeah. You got to do your research.
Stay away from people that's intellectually not curious, right? And I'm going to tell you, a lot of this stuff, I don't know if you remember this, Sakima, but a lot of this stuff we talked about 6 years ago on Eric Dawson's show.
Right. Yeah.
We laid it all out. We said this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Are we talking about this stuff? So all of those guys out there running their mouths, please be quiet. Nobody's paying you any attention. The demolition party is over. I'm happy they're over. And if it was the Republicans doing the same thing, I would be saying the same thing about them. I would be saying the same thing. How did the Republicans become the party of the people? How was that possible?
It flipped.
There's a young man that did it. You got to get it. You got to watch it. It was incredible.
I watched it. I heard what he said. It was a complete flip. And now I'm just like questioning things because I don't want to be engaged in party loyalty that's killing me.
How can any Black American be loyal to the Democratic Party with the record of the Democratic Party towards our people? You almost have to be mentally insane not to understand what this party has done. They have played us. They have commoditized our bodies. They have commoditized our power for their power and their wealth. Black people are a bottom class, and the illegal immigrant, if they had it their way, would have been over us. The LGBT community would have been over us. This has nothing to do with your sexuality.
Right.
I have nothing to do. This has nothing to do with your sexuality. But your gender and your color should not be predicated. That should not be a gauge on how you get a job.
It shouldn't.
I wouldn't want that. I never got a job because of my color. I got a job because I know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, I've never got a job because of my color or my gender.
Do you know?
And I'm feeling like, well, I'm supposed to be a CEO. You know, how come I'm not a CEO right now with DEI and all this stuff going on? How come it didn't trickle down to me? Who is benefiting? Because I'm not.
Listen. It's really funny how the Democrats are telling that everybody that the Republicans are rich. And it's the Democratic Party that moved towards the rich. So you got to understand, that's how the Republicans became the party of the people. The Democratic Party has more billionaires and more people focused on destroying the sovereignty of this country. They mandated for you to stay in your house. They lied to you and stuck something in your arm that has destroyed your DNA. We have more people dying in our cities now because of what they did.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't see the improvement.
When Trump supported the vaccines, people went off on him. That people didn't like that. They went after him. No, we don't support that. So all of these people are crazy. All of them are nuts. The demolition party is over, and I'm so happy to see it go because it's been a detriment to Black Americans in this country. Now you got 16-year-olds. They're trying to get 16-year-olds to vote. Can somebody help me with that? 16-year-olds don't even know how to bathe.
Wow. They don't even have a job. You know, these 16-year-olds, when I was 16, I had one, but not these 16-year-olds. They don't.
Well, here's the deal. I believe that these young kids are our future, right? And we've done them a grave disservice because they're not prepared to live in the real world.
Right. I agree with that.
To convince a child at 16 years old that he has the power to make a decision about who they're voting for is just absolutely horrible. They're using our kids when our kids already have all kinds of social issues. Our kids have all kinds of health issues. Our kids don't know what's going on. They can't even read and write. If you can't read and write, you can't comprehend. If you can't
exactly,
write, you can't do critical thinking.
Right.
So if you can't do critical thinking, that means you are not prepared to live in the world we live in. And so to have this, like to get 16-year-olds to vote, it's crazy when your average 25-year-old doesn't vote. Your average 18-year-old doesn't vote. The average 16-year-old, they're not even getting civics in school. They can't even do cursive writing. They can't even read the New York Times. They can't even read a book in its totality. They can't even comprehend the book. But you're going to go in a school and say, we want you to vote, to register to vote for my people. That's going to continue to destroy this country, destroy our educational systems, destroy our families.
So they gave the people fried chicken to vote. What are they going to give these kids? Ice cream and
they're going to give them
Robux.
They're going to give them ratchet rap music.
Oh, okay.
They're going to bring the dumbed down celebrity class in.
Okay. Because I know it's going to be something that they give them that's meaningless, but they fall for it.
Well, it's not that they fall. I feel bad for our children because
it's sad. They're being set up to fail.
It's all of our fault.
They're being set up to fail. Yeah. That's
but
like
they're not being set up to fail, Sakima. They're failed already, and we've allowed it to happen. We have what is the budget of the school board? 1.2 billion.
Right. Yeah. We have $1 billion budget.
$1 billion budget. So if you say in the last 8 years, what is that? $12 billion have been spent. All right. I don't know the number.
Yeah,
so just say $12 billion.
Squandered.
And you have people down there saying that they now want to tax Norcas an additional money to fix their failed school system.
What?
I think the school should be taken over. I think they all should be fired. every last one of them. I think that anybody that even supports that is evil. And I think the teachers union is an abomination. It should be destroyed. They have destroyed public education in this country. And whatever they do to the Department of Education is fine with me. Because the Bible, guess what? And I want to add this to this. And I don't want anybody telling me anything about charter schools. I supported them. A failed experiment. Their schools are no better than the public schools. No better. I dare anybody to tell me
we need to pick schools with results.
And I'm school choice. I love school.
Yeah, choice. I like that too. That's the school.
Charter schools are a dismal failure. A failure. So if you think you're sending your kids to school to get a quality education there, I think you better do a turnaround and do some work, because your kids are not prepared. And this whole masquerade that those kids are better than the kids in public school, I think all of us should be disbanded. I think that we should do a re-engineering of our public schools, and we should get 5 basic courses, right? Maybe 6 or 7, to teach our kids to socialize, basic math, basic science, real history, global history, right? Right. There's another one I just can't remember. And all of those social programs in the school, right? Get it out. The schools are not there. The school should not be a social service agency. It shouldn't educate and empower our kids to be effective human capital, so they can be competitive with other kids around the world as the world continues to evolve and grow in technology and in health and everything else. So the public schools, they're pushing out the worst byproduct that's going to be a problem for us when we get older.
Yeah. I don't want to have to be looking over my shoulder to see if somebody's going to rob me because they have to survive because they didn't get a quality education.
Well, listen. Well, yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. But that's where the war is. You want to have a war? Let's have a war about that. You want to have a war? Let's have a war about that. Let's have a war about people that make. Look, I know people that make $200,000 a year. I have some friends. And they're on the backs of their ass. They're being overtaxed. The food prices went up because the gasoline prices went up. Inflation has went up because the country was spending money like a fish. That's inflation, right? That's inflation. When the government spends a lot of money, that's inflation.
Right.
That's basic economics 101.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The economy is flatlined.
Yeah.
All of this new housing, I guarantee you, how many housing units in the last year that they built that's affordable in the city of Newark? Maybe 400, maybe.
Is it that? I think it's less than that.
I'm just being conservative because I don't know the number.
I think
they still and you know why they get away with it? Because the majority of these people come out of they're the byproducts of the public school system, right? They're not intellectually curious, right? They are not going to do the work that they need to do to protect their children, to protect their future. But they can tell me what's going to happen in the Chiefs game this weekend.
That's sad. That's sad.
Now, I like sports. I mean, I don't watch them anymore. I played them. I played sports.
That's sad, though. But that's sad.
Where's the outrage? Where's all of this fake Negro outrage? And I'm seeing is a joke. Yeah, because they're not having an outrage in their own community about anything. And we've been
They're not.
For us. Nobody has respect for us. Nobody has respect for us. I watched the Democratic debate. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, it was.
When I watched the Republican debate, somebody says, "Oh, they're not letting people talk." That's a debate. Go out there and show that you can fight against these people that are running. Oh, they have to be quiet and show decorum. No, they were having a debate.
Right.
That was the difference. They was having a debate. The Democratic Party. I thought it was a funeral. And then when your mayor got up there and did that 1-2 on him, trying to sound profound, I said, I remember the same guy that stood on the steps of City Hall. When I become mayor, you become mayor. Well, that was.
Did you hear what he said about the water though? Like he found the problem and solved the problem, and nobody on that stage even debated him on that.
Well, they don't know. A lot of them don't know what we know. And they don't care to know because they don't live here and they're not drinking the dirty water.
Wow.
So why would they care?
Wow.
Why would they care? Come on, Sakima. Why would they care? Hey, look, if he's lying to his people, but he's not lying to the state. And no, I didn't even want to get on him because he's not relevant to me. I'm sorry. I hate to say this. He's nobody to me. I hate when I do this. I got off cold today. He's not important to me at all. The whole thing is just a clown show and everybody knows it. Now he's brought on all of these professionals trying to raise his profile. But guess what? We have the receipts. See, Norcas have receipts. So
yeah, we do have the receipts.
Like, come on now, let's be. So I owe you an apology. I owe the listeners an apology. He's not that important. He really is. And I'm sorry. I made him important today, and I owe everybody an apology. But I love you, and I'm never doing this again. I'm tired.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that too. I appreciate you for coming on and giving us your take on things. Of course, other people have their own perspectives, but they could have came on too.
But you know what? They don't. Listen, let me just say this: they don't have a perspective.
They're just going along to get along, huh?
They don't have a perspective. Like when people tell me I have the right to my opinion. No, you don't have the right to your opinion if it's dangerous and if it's not informed. Right? When people say, "Oh, they both are the same," well, okay, let's clarify what that means. Just don't say they both are the same, so you don't have to make a critical decision about which side you're on. Or you're on the side of the people of America, or you're on the side of the people that are trying to destroy America.
Right.
It ain't got nothing to do with your color.
Right.
That's why those people in Chicago are lit. That's why those people are lit. They know what's going on.
Yeah, they are. I've been watching them too. They've been going to those council meetings. Oh my gosh.
And guess
they're
what?
sick and tired.
Right. Now you see the same thing is happening in New York. People are starting to push back. Let me just say this though. And I was going to say this the other day and I just forgot. There's an awakening in the Black community. And I see it. And I'm impressed.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some positive stuff before I go.
Okay.
Black Americans are wising up. They're asking all the right questions and they're getting past their denial and they're getting past this fake loyalty to a party that has been their enemy from day one. And I dare somebody try to convince me or anybody else that they haven't been. They're the enemy of the Black community. We're only there to be spit on. We're only there to be charged up. That's why every time they do any conversation about Black America, it starts with the conversation about race.
Right.
Because that's good. They know that's our sweet spot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now everybody, this is the new line. Well, white supremacy. I say, well, did you go take that shot? Because that white man told you to take that shot. So what about what white?
Hey, that's a good point.
The pharmaceutical industry if you want to talk about white supremacy and policy, well, you took that shot. You didn't ask no questions. And then guess what they did? They pardoned Fauci because they know he killed these people. Now, where's the outrage from our people? Because we were most harmed. They were spending billions of dollars to convince us to take an experimental biologic that they knew that were going to destroy us. We are the instruments of death for the pharmaceutical industry. They make billions off the Black body in this country. And you got people up there that don't know anything about anything talking about, well, Bobby Kennedy. You couldn't even compete with his intellect on these issues. And then I heard somebody the other day talking about, well, what about the polio vaccination? Yet again, nobody knows what they're talking about. Polio was eradicated before the vaccine was created.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Wow.
You know why I know that? Because I'm a subject matter expert on these issues now because I took 4 years to learn about it. There's been compulsory vaccines have been argued against for decades, centuries in this country. Look at the autism rates of our boys in this country.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely up in the community.
Look at the obesity of our people. And you're talking about what? Man, please.
They're definitely not subject matter experts on anything. That's why I don't listen to them. I let them talk.
Well, they do. They are subject matter experts on something. CNN.
Like what? Oh, come on, CNN?
MSNBC, ABS, CBS.
Wow.
If you tell these people to go do some real work, it will never happen.
If they did, they wouldn't need the Democratic Party. They wouldn't have to wait for the Democratic.
We got to call it. We can't call it Democratic Party. It's the demolition party because everything they touch, they destroy. We got to call it the demolition party now. And I'm saying everybody that's a Democrat that's disinfected, upset, become an independent, leave the party. Because there's a lot of people that are not Republicans that voted for Donald Trump.
I know Democrats that voted for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Donald Trump, but I know Democrats voted for Donald Trump.
All you sisters out there, I'm every woman. I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
every woman. Y'all had every woman there, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what she did? Made a fool out of you. She made a fool out of every one of you. I'm every woman. Okay. Yeah. Okay. God bless
The
you. I love you.
the
I'm
the
every woman.
effort with the effort though, the effort was like pretty good at the last minute. That's the
Listen,
part. That's the part I said, you know what? We could do that in a different space and get more results.
listen. Here's the
Why are we that's like working for somebody that you don't need to work for.
here's the skinny. She should have never been there. She was never prepared. She did not listen. This is a person that has failed up her whole political career. I want y'all to remember this term, fail up, because what we're seeing now is a crop of people in the political ecosystem that have failed up because we have not lent our voices to say enough is enough. They're failed up.
Some of us have though. Some of us have.
No,
And we got the police sick on us. We've gotten banned.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about us as a group. We haven't said enough. Now, if this last election, I think they're starting to get it. Now they can't use illegal immigrants to vote illegally anymore. And this whole thing about, they're going into schools to get the kids. I'm like, wait a minute, time out. Now, I had to tell somebody this because it went over my head at first when they say they're going into the schools and get the kids. I said,
Did
okay.
they see this?
Wait
Do
a
they
minute.
have
No,
proof?
I got a good response to that. If you are a mother or a father from Venezuela or from Colombia or from whatever Latin country, whatever African country, whatever Eastern Europe country, and you're bringing your kids across the border, right?
Right.
And you know that coming across the border, you are bringing your kids into an illegal environment. And then you take you take our resources, you send your kids to our public schools, then our kids have to be bilingual now to teach your children, right? Speak to your children, and your teachers have to, and they're using all of our resources, but they're in our schools illegally. Whose fault is that? That's the parents that brought them.
Okay, I see what you're saying. That's their responsibility.
It was their responsibility.
I'm not just moving to Africa and saying
you can't move to any country and do that. So when everybody's saying, what about the children? Wait a minute, time out. I didn't bring my child over here illegally and then put him in the public school to get my resources, right? I didn't do that. You brought your kid here in an illegal environment. Take your kids out of the school because they don't belong there and go home. I can't go.
What about they came for a better life?
Yeah, do it right.
For the American dream.
Do it right like all of the other immigrants did. It took them 10 years to get here and do it the right way. Now, if you are illegal, you are a criminal. If you are illegal, you should be arrested. If you are illegal, you should not be using our resources. If you are illegal, you knew what you were doing. Because if that's the case, then we got nothing but black men locked up in prisons for nothing.
Let them out.
They should let them out. If they can roam our streets legally, then let them out. Let them out.
Yeah.
Wow. And so at the end of the day, all of a sudden now people are talking about, what about the children? Oh, this is wrong. No, you are here illegally and you need to go. I don't care what color you are, what nationality you are. I don't care. You got to go back because it's about America. My ancestors fought for America, right? They fought for the flag. They fought for that flag. Every war my people fought in. We were tortured in this country. We helped build this country. And those illegal immigrants coming here and get subsidized over us.
But what about America's causing wars in their country too? And that's why they're here.
Guess what? That's personal. Ain't got nothing to do with me. See, that's geopolitics.
Right. But these are the things that I hear, and I'm just like, wow.
That's geopolitics. That's not my issue right now.
And how come when people come to the United States, they don't have to learn about what Black people been through?
They don't. But
how come it's not even, a part of their lesson or what,
Shakima, let me say something.
And that bothers me. Like everything you said, fighting in the wars, building the country, being tortured in this country, enslaved, and you just step over those people like, excuse me, you're in my way.
Yeah, well, guess what? The Democratic Party was the great initiators of all of that. But let me just go back to something. You said something that piqued my interest. And I haven't spoken about this in a long time, I don't think anyway. When I was growing up, I went to pretty damn good schools.
Right.
And none of those schools taught me my true history as a Black American.
Right.
It
Okay.
should not be left up to the schools. You know where I learned my history at?
At
In
home,
my community,
right?
and in my
Right.
home.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
we studied together, we went to lecture series together, we went to museums
Yeah.
together. You're talking about white supremacy, but this various institution, right, that's destroying our kids, because I call the schools the new prisons, right? You don't got to go to prison anymore. You start at school, that's the prison. So you're
Yeah.
saying you want them to teach your kids Black history? Yeah, they are. They're going to teach them what it meant to be a slave. When are
Right.
we going to take when are we going to take responsibility? That's what the Nation of Islam was about when I was growing up. That's what the Black Catholic Church was about when I was growing up. Not this
Right.
abomination we see now. We
Right.
had those places in our community where we had top-notch theologians, top-notch historians, top-notch teachers teaching us about the massive history as Black people on this planet, and it didn't start at slavery. So you're telling me you want them? I guarantee you, majority of people that are saying that, kids don't read one book a year at home.
Right. Right. Yeah.
They're victims. You know what the problem with the Black American community? They're professional victims. And
Yeah.
victimhood is not a good business strategy.
It's not smart. It's not smart at all.
Come on. Listen,
not
God
smart.
bless you. You done got me charged up. I should have left you alone. I should have kept walking up some stairs.
Thank you, though. I
love you.
appreciate your commentary. I appreciate you stopping, giving me the time to come on. And I like how you just keep it real.
Well, because I'm in the business of keeping it real. I deal with policy issues every day. I deal with people from all around the world every day. And then nobody's starting a conversation with me saying, well, Kevin, your people got it so bad. Nobody's starting that conversation. You know what we're trying to do? We're trying to engage in business, engage in the market, create opportunity, right?
Right.
I'm trying to create a world where our kids can be competitive, right? Where our families can be whole. And this whole
Right.
notion that this whole notion that Black men and women can't get along and try to work together to build their families and their communities together, we got to break that narrative, because that's not
Right.
true. And
Yeah.
and
It's
other
not.
narrative that I don't like. Black men take care of their children.
Right.
That's bull crap. When people say Black men don't take care of they take care of their children. They just don't want to be with her.
Okay. Okay.
Nobody wants to be married to another man. You know what I mean? He's a man. Nobody wants to be married to another man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I marry a wife. I ain't marry a man.
Oh, man.
And that's why nobody want him.
Oh, wow.
I love you.
I love you too, Kevin. Thank you. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Kevin Jenkins. Dakita, yes, you said we gave them too much power to the point where they don't want to or don't have to respect us or our history. I think Black history is American history. So, I just want to thank everybody for coming on. Shout out to you observers out there and listeners. This has been a fun conversation. This is Current Exposure. Shakima K. I hope you have fun, because I have fun too. So peace. I'm out of here.